Who's excited for Las Vegas? Oh, okay. I've thought a lot about this. Who in here is actually going to gamble? No offense if you're not. Who's going to gamble? Raise your hand. Okay. Can I tell you my entire strategy? I've thought a lot about this over the last several weeks. Do you think the casinos are really smart? Do you think they're good at taking our money? Do you think they're good with AI, facial recognition, all that stuff? So when a company comes to a casino to hold a convention, do you think they do research on us? What color is our company? How many of the 14,000 people are going down there and they're going to go right to the roulette table and put $100 on red? Have you guys thought that? I'm going to put $100 on red. You think Mandalay Bay knows that? Yes. So the strategy is when you go to the casino, if you're going to do roulette, what do we bet on? Yes. Okay. I just made you $100. Your trip's paid for. You're welcome.
See, Dean is taking notes. It's great.
Isn't that genius? That's genius, I think. Johnny, you cost me $100. I've never been with Johnny when he won money, right? Is that what you just said? That's true.
Yeah, if you lose money on that strategy, blame Johnny. If you do win, you have to split the earnings with me. So
Yes.
that's the win-win. We're going to start with a little video, a little introduction, and then we'll dive into it. How to prepare for this amazing event. So, of course, one of the highlights of the week is going to be we have some amazing guest speakers or keynote speakers that are going to be there. For those of you who's been to a Tony Robbins event in person, okay. So obviously things have evolved over time. His ticket to entry for his events now are about $3,000. So we're getting a huge deal for being able to go to the amazing event and be able to get all the value from KW at this price. And there's so many different things that are going to come through. And we're going to talk about today some of the ways that you can prepare for that, especially some of the questions that you should have in mind. But that keynote's going to be awesome. So a little agenda for the things that we're going to discuss today. We're going to talk about the huge opportunity for networking. How many of you have met awesome agents while being at a family reunion in the past? How many of you have gotten a referral from agents in the past? I know Clay's not here to tell the story, but he's, I guess, Johnny, you guys have met some people.
Clay's stories are my stories. He steals and makes his own.
And he reinvents.
But even just Mark Fox, we've gotten at least, 6, 7 closings over the last 10 years from meeting him. We've sent him probably 5 or 6. A Portland guy I just sat next to in one of the random breakouts. So just talk to people for sure.
Definitely. So use that to your advantage. Technology, obviously, there's going to be, there's always a tech booth, which we'll kind of highlight, but make sure that you stop by, see some of the cool new technology that you should be integrating into your business. Of course, the breakout sessions, you want to plan ahead. And we'll dive into the agenda and what that looks like, but you want to make sure that you plan accordingly to the specific topics you want to study for your business and have those breakouts planned. And you want to have some backups as well. Sometimes those rooms get overpacked, and so you want to make sure that you have some backups in play that you can go to if needed. And then, of course, just overall, what do you need in your specific business? Having clarity about that before you go, and we'll provide you with some specific questions that will help bring clarity around those areas. So this is really the ultimate experience for real estate education. And there's kind of twofold. One, we've talked about this, which is just really being a real estate economist, being a market expert, right? Being able to empower your clients with the right data and helping them to understand what that data actually means. And so I know one of my favorite sessions is the vision speech. Gary Keller goes through 50 to 100 slides around what's happening in the economy, what's happening in the US, what's happening on a global scale that's impacting the real estate space. And so pay attention to some of the ways that they actually explain the data, because that actually can give you some really good momentum to be able to bring back and talk with your clients about where the market is headed. And so on top of that, we obviously have more business building tactics and strategies. So getting very tactical about your approach for the next year in your business and being able to deploy strategies that are working at the highest level. So make sure that we're focused on those two different things. John, you want to give us kind of a history overview?
Yeah, I'll just read this first paragraph. But when Mo Anderson became CEO of Keller Williams, she set out to fashion the company's annual convention. Her goal is to create a fun event that delivered superb education while inspiring a passionate drive within the hearts of her associates to grow their businesses. She developed the model for a revamped event that she called Family Reunion. Just 20 years ago, I think it was like 1,000 people going to this. Now we usually have 14 to 18,000 that come to this every year. Vegas is great because it can hold us. Most towns we just dramatically overwhelm, and it's hard to eat. It's hard to find somewhere to stay. So just really cool. And I actually have really enjoyed that it's called Family Reunion. It's kind of a sweet, cherished name for us. Outside of our company, it just confuses the entire population. But other than that, fantastic. All right. Mandalay Bay, man, the amount of money that's poured into Vegas the last decade has been phenomenal. And even what's coming to Vegas the next 5 years. Most of you know, Mandalay Bay, even just the convention center there is bigger than most entire states' convention centers. And there's like dozens of these down there. Allegiant Stadium's right there. If you just go down the road, that's where potentially the new baseball MLB stadium is going to be built. So really convenient. Who's staying at Mandalay Bay? Bunch of you, okay. Who is sleeping outside in the gutter somewhere? Undetermined. Hunter, Taylor, good. All right, all right. Keep going. Tons of cool stuff there. A lot of restaurants. One of the main things is just the capacity that it can hold us. When we just exit the general sessions and 14,000 people just like systematically disappear in the casino and restaurants is really cool. They have a big aquarium there. If you get an hour, that middle picture on top will be the venue for our awards gala. We rented out the House of Blues. Really cool venue just to give a different aura to our awards gala. That will be Tuesday night. We'll talk about that in a second. Here's just a bunch of the layouts. You probably can't see this, but we'll send the slides out in case you want a map. There will be a map in the app, so you can kind of navigate around there.
And just kind of understanding too, the general layout is you've got the convention center, which is starting essentially over here. Okay? And so you've got Mandalay Bay up here. This is where the House of Blues is, where we'll be having the regional event. Okay.
You'll
So
get your steps in. I just had my health coaching appointment earlier this morning. I don't need to work out because we walk so much every single day. I bet we average what, 20,000 steps, something like that. So wear comfortable shoes. Tip number one.
Yeah. Do we have anybody running the marathon or half marathon or anything while they're down there? 5K, 10K?
That's on Saturday morning.
No.
Dang
Okay.
it. We missed signups, guys. Sorry. All right. The pool's not open. Sorry. Sorry, Cody. All right, opening date, Mandalay, 1999. That Shark Reef Aquarium, over 2,000 animals, concert venue. It has a capacity of 12,000. You guys know what show's there? Cirque du Soleil. Do you know which one it is? Nobody? Michael Jackson. Probably the best show I've ever seen. So if you end up with a empty evening, there might be some tickets available, but phenomenal show. Just on the bottom, that Michael Jackson won. Nightlife, we do have an office curfew of 9 p.m. Is that right, Novalee? Okay. And we have a bunch of restaurants. Okay. Helene thinks I'm joking. All right.
Awesome. So if you're not in the WhatsApp group, you want to join this. This is where all the action is going to be happening. And for those who have not gone, we generally have some open evenings. And so what typically people will do is get together with a group of 8 to 12 and go out to grab dinner. It's very unlikely for us to find a restaurant that can host all 70 of us. And so we're going to split up to groups. So this is a great place to be in, especially if I know Susie's got some fun things planned. We're going to have some game nights. So be in the loop, be on that group chat, and that's where all the conversations will be happening. Opportunities. Are you going to create one that is just specifically? Yeah, so that actually takes you to the specific group chat just for Family Reunion attendees. Yep. So this is just for the group going down to Vegas.
So a couple Vegas fast facts for you. Okay.
There you go. It's back up.
Did you know Las Vegas is the brightest place on the planet? You can see it from space. I don't know if you knew that. There's over 300 weddings that happen every day. Troy?
Hunter?
Yeah. Hunter. The MGM Grand is the world's largest hotel. Guess how many rooms are in Las Vegas total? Can you guess? Yes. 150,000. 150,000. The city only receives around 4 inches of rain a year. Crazy. It's a desert. You guys knew that. The Bellagio Hotel holds 2 world records for their fountains. I don't know what those are. There was one day that Las Vegas lost their #1 gambling place on the planet. Do you know where they lost it to? What'd you say? Ooh, close. Macau. And then people in Las Vegas consume more shellfish in one day than the entire US does in a day. Clay, that's him. He loves the lobster down there. There's an abandoned city beneath Lake Mead. And then this one I didn't know until what, 5 years ago when Clay and I learned this. You know, the Las Vegas Strip is not actually in the city of Las Vegas. Do you know what the city's named that the Strip is actually located in? Who didn't know that Las Vegas Strip is not in the city of Las Vegas? A couple of you? Does anybody know the city's name? Paradise. It's actually in the city of Paradise. Do you know why that happened? The mafia back in the day created their own city, so they were not like subject to the laws and ordinances of the city of Las Vegas. So they like annexed themselves out of it, just the Las Vegas Strip. Interesting. And then most of them, but it says some of the hotels in Las Vegas are missing a floor on their elevators. Anybody know what floor it is? 13. And then Las Vegas is named after hidden underground wells. You guys know there's people that live in the underground wells? It's one of my goals one time. I'm going to go down there. It's dangerous. All right, your turn. He does all the value. I'm here for entertainment purposes.
Cool. So we've got the Mandalay Bay Convention Center, just a little map. Now, when you get to the event and you sign in and check in, they'll have some resources there for you. But check-in's pretty quick. I mean, in the past, it's been 20-ish minutes if you go there and go through the line. So it's nothing crazy, but this will give you kind of an overview of the different sections. So all the breakout rooms, they'll have a KW app. It's actually not out yet. Did you have access to it yet?
I think Wednesday or Thursday.
So it's going to be coming out, but when you access that, it will actually show you where each breakout room is, and so that will give you a little bit more guidance. Unfortunately, they just did not have it ready for us to present today, but it will go through and guide you in the right direction.
Who's a family reunion first timer, real quick? Oh wow, okay, about half the room. Okay,
sweet. Before we get into the questions, why are you going? I'm curious. What are some of the reasons why you're going to family reunion this year?
Say your joke. I see you smiling, Clay. Go ahead. That's not what you were thinking.
Clay's definitely going to gamble, I can tell.
Oh, Clay. Dean, will you make sure he goes with you? Oh, okay. All right. Peter, you're in charge of him. Why are you guys going? Yeah. Best speakers I think we've ever had. I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Who else? Where are you going? Gary and Jay. Yeah. Totally. Yeah. Peter? Yeah.
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 I said this on our leadership call on Monday. It's such an energy recharge for me, and the typical agent, our job as realtors are not 9 to 5, right? Like it is just like a 24/7, like work creeps into every hour, try to raise a few kids and close 20 deals. Like it's exhausting, and even just the one principle for family reunion every year for me is that energy recharge of just being around a company like this. And another principle for me is simply raising my thinking. Like the first handful of family reunions I went, it blew my mind what was possible in my life. Like you see these people up on the panels that are so normal to you, but are accomplishing such incredible things. Like Clay and I think closed maybe 50 deals together the year before we went to family reunion. And we thought we were like the big dogs. Like we thought we were so cool. And we ended up going to family reunion and there was people closing 1,000 transactions and it just blew our mind what's possible, So being a fish in a big pond really just accelerates your ability to go grow an empire. It's crazy. Bart?
My biggest thing is everyone for the first time, you can't even imagine yet. I mean, I love first time, absolutely. I want to hang around all the people that are going to, because you just,
Yeah.
the amount of noise, the amount of energy. However, my biggest takeaway, when you get $495 and you get 120 hours of student education, and then you are one,
Mm-hmm.
right? And people can sue you, what?
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we do get a little down in the mouth that do people really appreciate or understand what a professional I am? My biggest takeaway whenever I go to family reunion is to see thousands of professionals at 7:30 in the morning racing for a coveted seat in front of the program. Dressed to the nines, they're just, I mean, they're just the
Yeah.
cream of the crop. No, it is. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see how many professionals really.
We do need you to shower daily, Jen. Okay. And we'll get into a bunch of tips at the end, just from some of the veterans here. Why else are you going? Anybody else have a comment? Why else you're going? Here and then Cody. Yeah. It's pretty cool. Cody, and then over here. Yeah. Yep. Adrian, and then Kim. Yeah. Yeah, the meetings between the meetings tend to be a lot of the value for me too. Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get to know some secrets about people. We all have some blackmail from last year that we have in our pocket if needed.
Yeah, as long as it's not a KW agent, you're fine. Yeah. 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 Yeah, we're always around each other, but like for some reason when we're at these events, like the friendships that come out of it are always impressive, you know. And I think it started from the hot tub parties Clay used to throw 10 years ago. Probably, right? Well, the 8-person limit, yeah. I actually think they shut the hot tubs off early in Vegas because they want you to go spend money. Yeah. Yes. Any other comments? Okay.
Awesome. So these are some questions that can help you get clarity around just maximizing the time that you're there. So it starts off with, what do you want to learn? What are you going for? And so try to identify what are some of the roadblocks in your business? What are some of the opportunities, some areas where you feel like you can use some growth and development? And actually get clear about that ahead of time. There's something called the RAS, the reticular activating system. So in our brain, when we start to get clarity around what we're looking for, those things tend to pop up. So you'll hear conversations, or you'll be in a breakout room, or you'll see sessions that will actually support the knowledge that you're trying to gain. So make sure that you're clear about what am I specifically trying to learn? What sessions are most relevant to my business? So again, looking at the areas of opportunity, where do I need to focus? Some of you are saying, I need to really dial in my lead generation strategies and be more effective when it comes to different types of lead generation. Some of you want to support your sphere of influence at a higher level, and some of you may want to grow a team. And so look for breakout sessions that support those specific targets.
I think less is more sometimes too. So one of my challenges always for first timers is just write like 1, 2, 3 questions that you're going into the event asking, right? Because there's so many times the first handful of events I went to, I came back and I'm like, oh man, I got to go do this. And I would come back like almost ready to alter my entire business to chase this squirrel or this squirrel or this squirrel. Like you just have to be careful that you're not rocking the boat totally. You're just trying to improve on a lot of the things you're doing. So usually just 3 questions. Like what are the main points that you're going to family reunion looking for?
Yeah. And I think on that, Johnny, too, something that's important is just like context matters. So don't look at the person who's doing 1,000 units and say, well, they're doing that and it's working. I'm going to do that. Okay. Just know where you're at in your journey and find people who are just 1 or 2 steps ahead of you and find what strategies are working for them that you can deploy this year. So don't try to jump the whole staircase. Just try to go 1 or 2 steps ahead from where you're at currently. What networking opportunities will be available and how can I make the most of them? So who do I want to connect with? And that's where you have, I think all layers were kind of covered in here, but networking obviously with agents in our office, building relationships with people who are here. It's a little different setting, so it's fun to get to know people. But then also being able to network with agents that are in the state, in the region, right? We'll have some regional opportunities to connect and grow relationships with agents in all of our other offices here in Utah. And then on a national scale, being able to network and build referral partnerships with agents all across the country. Number 4, I think is just an interesting question of like, how do you actually measure if this was a win for you? Everybody's kind of in different seasons of life, different business settings. And so just get clear about what would I call a win? If I walk out of this one thing with from family reunion, this is a great return on my investment. And then what is my plan for following up with new contacts and implementing what I learned? So just have an action plan. We've talked about this many times where education without implementation is entertainment, right? So coming out of family reunion, just having a clear target of within the first 2 weeks, this is what I'm going to do, right? These are the activities that I'm going to focus on.
Who's getting in Saturday? Raise your hand. Partiers. I could see you're going early. All right. Who's getting in Sunday? Okay. Is anybody swinging in Monday just to party and leave? No? Okay, we're good. Sunday, everybody. All right. So this is Sunday, CEO Summit. Here's the agenda. Again, there's all sorts of different departments in Keller Williams. You might tend to ignore some of them. Some of them, if you're interested in, just swinging in and checking some of them out. Like even the worldwide stuff, if you're interested in learning about KW Worldwide, there's always networking events, that type of thing. The big main thing on Sunday is the CEO Summit. You have to have a specific registration separated from your family reunion ticket if you're planning on going to the CEO Summit. As of yesterday, there were still a bunch of seats open. So if anybody's still interested, they used to have some requirements on that, but I think they've expanded it due to the demand on allowing more people into it. So the CEO Summit has a whole great lineup of speakers.
Yeah.
What?
$299 was, I
$299?
believe what it was.
For you, $299. Everybody else, $399. That's the agenda.
Yeah, this is to download the agenda. If you go to just CEO Summit is actually on there as well on the website, you'll be able to register there.
And if you get there Sunday and you can check in on Sunday, that's probably a good idea before waiting till Monday morning, because that would probably be the only time there might be a decent line to check in and get your badge.
Yeah. These are some of the guest speakers for the CEO Summit. And all of them kind of specialize in different topics. So they've got Dr. Gabriel Lyon, who is really focused on health and wellness. And Gary does a phenomenal job. Typically, you'll have a combination of keynote kind of speeches, but then also he'll interview some of these individuals. And to hear the wealth of knowledge that comes out by the way that Gary interviews people is phenomenal. I know Cody Sanchez, that's one individual that I've followed on social media, and she has some great thoughts and perspectives just around growing business in this unique time. So using technology to be able to enhance your business. And then Rory Vaden and Vance Walker. And so you just have a huge lineup of cool individuals that you'll be hearing from. And then of course, we'll have most likely Jay there as well, Jay Papasan, to learn from.
He tends to always try to hit health, wealth, wisdom, and relationships. So he always tries to have like a guru in those different categories. So I know there's a little bit of overlap, but you usually hit money, health, and just productivity in general.
Yeah. Day 2, obviously the highlight keynote is Tony And I think he's scheduled for 3 hours. We'll see if he actually
I was going
sticks
to
to
ask
that.
you, like, how late did he go beyond the schedule on the event you were just at?
So he doesn't do schedules. So that's why I'm surprised they put a little earmarker on there, but I'd be surprised if he actually does finish on time, because he would usually go till 1, 2 a.m. Just whenever he's done, he's done. So we'll see how things wrap up.
I
that
don't
day.
know how he does it. Yeah, the Unleash the Power Within event that I went to, every night was like 1:30, and then we'd start back up at like 7
Yeah.
a.m.
Yep.
Yeah. So for him to
Yes.
slot into 3 hours on a schedule, I will be impressed if he stops talking after 3 hours.
Yeah.
But again, like nobody really notices just because it is just intense value.
Mhm.
Okay, so vision state of the company. That'll be at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. So 8 a.m. Monday morning. Is that the 27th? Is that Tuesday? Okay. Tuesday, 8 a.m. Tony starts at 9, right? On Monday?
That's no, he's in the afternoon.
Is he? Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's in the afternoon. Okay. Vision speech. Who's one of our veterans? Angie Fisher, explain what the vision speech is. Yep. Yeah, who's been on one of my market reports? So those are like way lower valued versions of Gary's vision speech. So Gary's vision speech is usually good 90 minutes-ish of just like the stats. He pulls out the most relevant things to give us the best direction for the next 12 to 24 months. There's several times in the vision speech that vision speech has made me hundreds of thousands of dollars because it helps me make the right decisions for my wealth building activities. There's been vision speech that Clay and I and Cameron left. Hey, we need to sell a couple properties. Hey, we need to go buy a couple properties or whatever. And it kind of just helps guide our decisions on that. And even just the general vision of where our company's going. That 5 years ago, that's when he announced we're becoming a technology company. We're going to be building our own technology. Mark Willis, our new CEO, if you remember him back in the day, he was our CEO, took a little 8-year break. I've been on several calls, flown down to Texas several times. I am so pumped to have Mark Willis back. I really love that guy. He will be on stage for the majority of time with Gary. Just a whole epic lineup of great leaders. And then state of the company, we just kind of go where we're sitting in the industry, what's going on with anything. If you've had any questions about what's going on in the chaotic world of the realtor world, there'll probably be some things on that as well. Even just an update on our technology. We usually go through a handful of the most important departments in KW, just giving updates of our state of our company. Do you have another comment? Yep,
For sure.
totally agree.
Yeah.
Clay? Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is honestly probably the closest thing you can get to like a crystal ball, like what's going to happen the next 12 months. Obviously, predictions are never perfect, but they do a ton of research. So I think it's also just cool on how they kind of forecast this is where we're headed. And there's actually been many times where I feel like Gary has said this is what's going to happen in the next 8 to 12 months, and then it becomes the reality. So that just definitely helps you to anticipate what's coming. And then also just using this as a lead generation strategy as well. Like think about who are the clients that are maybe warm or in your pipeline or even potentially hot that you can kind of send something of value to them while you're at family reunion. And so just shoot them a text and say, hey, just found this data out. It's really interesting. Thought it applied to your goal of XYZ. So just use that as a strategy. Red Bash. We've got, they've announced their big guest. Was it Usher? Is that who's, oh no, that was the, never mind, halftime show.
Hunter Bieber.
Yes, that was Super Bowl. Gary's awesome. He's, if you don't know, one of his biggest hobbies is music, has a huge passion. They actually have, he's kind of looked at as like the godfather of kind of saving music in Austin, in Texas. and has donated a ton of money. I know he doesn't talk about this personally, but KW has talked about how he's been a huge advocate of that. So Red Bash is a cool celebration that they put
So you
together.
can swing by that. That's also the evening of our awards gala. So I put it in the other slideshow. There it is. Okay. 6 to 10 p.m. So we rented out the House of Blues. I'm really excited about this. Has everybody seen and registered for this? I know the staff's been chasing everybody down that had a family reunion ticket. Does anybody not know about this? Okay, so we normally do annual awards gala at like a hotel somewhere in Salt Lake around this time. We decided because Vegas is close, the majority of our award recipients will be down at family reunion anyway. So we chose to host it down in Las Vegas. So we rented out this venue. It's like a $60,000 event for our region. It is a big event. We're buying you dinner. Plan on eating there. 6 to 7 p.m. will be dinner. 7 to 8 will be the awards, distribution awards program. We have a DJ. We have all sorts of cool stuff planned for it. And then 8 to 10 will just be people hanging out and staying as long as you want. So super excited about that. So if you want to just, peek into Red Bash, you're welcome to. But this is kind of our main event for the region down there at Las Vegas. So
Yeah. Attire is dress up. You want black
black,
tie.
white, and red. Black, white, and red.
Yeah.
So if you wear green, you might feel a little out of place.
So Clay, the Dumb and Dumber suit that you have, too colorful.
Emilio.
Mel Robbins, also a phenomenal keynote speaker for us to have. And has anybody read any of her book or seen some of her keynotes in the past? So she's a phenomenal leader. And honestly, I think we probably have the best male and female speakers that are out there coming to this event, which is awesome. And of course, these are some of the specific breakouts. So you also have, or keynote sessions. So you've got Mark Willis Wednesday. You've got Mel Robbins Tuesday morning. Okay, she's the morning session starting early, 8 a.m. And you typically want to be there. We usually will try to sit together. So we'll kind of send out a photo in that WhatsApp group just saying this is where we're at. And we'll try to reserve as many seats as we can, but try to be there like 30 minutes early because it's going to be crazy with 10,000 people trying to run in the convention center. So
Who's
plan
not
ahead.
familiar with Mel Robbins? Does everybody know Mel? Mel, I wasn't as familiar with her before this announced, and I probably listened to maybe 30 hours of her in preparation to get to know her a little bit. She's probably one of the most like authentic communicating souls like as a speaker. Like pretty much every hour I've ever listened to her, I always just felt like so much better about myself. Like she really is phenomenal. I think I've tipped the scale officially. I'm more excited about Mel than Tony. So. And Tony's a rock star, don't get me wrong. So, and she has such a calming voice when she talks. Yeah.
Sweet. So you've got registration and customer service that's open kind of the whole time, but Novalee, would you mind talking about the inspirational morning? I know that's one that you love.
Cry.
I'm trying to get her to cry in this meeting.
To make Novalee cry. You want me to talk about Mel?
No,
No.
Mo Anderson.
Mo Anderson. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Where am I?
Mo Anderson is on Thursday morning. Mo Anderson brings people up on stage who have done phenomenal things in their community to bless the lives of other people. And they have Kleenex on the tables because the lengths that these people go to are just incredible to bless the lives of other people. And they call it inspirational brunch for a reason. Because these are incredible people and incredible stories. And you just bring out your wallet because a lot of them, they give you the opportunity to contribute usually to some of these people. And you want to because the stories are awesome. And it's my favorite part of family reunion. And they end with that because they want to end on a high. And it's so worth it. And you definitely, people skip that. And I'm like, why would you skip that? The opportunity to hear and listen to people giving back and taking care of other people is just a phenomenal experience. Don't skip that.
Yeah, it's a good example of our mission statement, right? Like the first 3 days of family reunions about, for me, careers worth having, businesses worth owning. And then really that last day is like the life's worth living piece to me. Yeah. It's a very classy end to our, convention.
Yeah. It's also one of those energizer energizers, just gives you the momentum, realizing like, this is why it's a focus to earn more money, is we can have more impact and help more people.
So can we talk about breakouts? Because again, we didn't talk about it. On Monday, there's breakouts, Tuesdays, there's breakouts, and Wednesdays, there's breakouts, right? I think total, there's like 6 different time blocks for you to hit breakouts. Each, if you're new, each breakout session, we do 2 big events. We do Family Reunion in February, and in August, we go down to Texas for Mega Camp. Mega Camp is just nothing but general sessions all day. We have 12,000 people in one giant room. The poor people that have to set up every one of those chairs, I always feel bad for. But normally we're just in one big room the entire day, and it's panels after, you know, education. One of my favorite things about Family Reunion is normally we'll start the day off in a general session format. We're around everybody. We get that big, you know, energy sense, and then we really just go divide and conquer to all these different breakout sessions. Each slot, we set a record, I'm pretty sure, this year. There's more breakout session options this year than ever before, and we're talking hundreds of different potential classes. So again, each session usually has 20 to 40 different options of classes you go to. So when you get the app rolled out in the next day or two, I always go favorite my like top 3. And again, these breakout sessions, each room, they always try to predict the demand of each breakout session from historical family reunions. They do surveys. They try to put dazzling titles to motivate people to go to different ones. Each one is going to have a fire code cap. Often, as soon as it fills up, they literally physically close the doors. You can't get into it. So if you pick your favorite breakout and you're super excited about it each session, you need to get there. I always recommend being at least 15, 20 minutes early. Pretty much as soon as I get out of whatever the last thing was, I go immediately to that next breakout. And if for some reason you get there and it's already full, I always have my backup 2 or my backup 3 option. Even if I go to one, it's not what I felt like it was going to be and it didn't dazzle me, I'll jump out and go to the next one. Don't waste time in something that you're not interested in, because each breakout is just incredible. And we have 1,700 Keller Williams agents in Utah. We only have 3 agent presenters that were qualified enough to be on panels. So the criteria to get on these panels and be up there is phenomenal. And they require regional approval. They audit financials a lot of the time. It's really a cool thing to be on a panel. So they're all usually generally good, but if it hits a topic that you're not interested in, just jump to the next one. And then a lot of times those are where you guys, if you take copious notes, so we could come back and we can kind of divide and conquer and share a lot of the value that we're receiving from stuff. Okay. Anything on breakouts?
Yeah, I would say that's the biggest piece, is like just organize your notes in a way that actually allows you to take action coming out of it. So I know early on, I would just try to write every single thing that I heard and realize that that just created a lot of cloud or fogginess for me coming out of the events. And so a very intentional way is to put a star or have some sort of method to signify different things. So for example, things that you want to revisit, you want to come back to. Okay, you might have like a circle next to it, or having a square next to, this is something I'm going to take action on, and then a star for like, this is probably my biggest takeaway from this event or this session. So just have a way to be able to clarify within your notes what's most important. That way you can kind of weed it out from just some of the stuff that's just not going to be super applicable.
Yeah, 2 other quick tips from veterans is the title usually does a pretty good job of explaining what the content's going to be in that breakout session. Each one of those breakout sessions tends to have about 4 superstars up there that will be presenting on the panel. They have a moderator moderating it. The other thing I look for, it's not on the schedule or agenda, but I'm assuming they're going to post it in the app under the breakouts. They'll usually say who the panelists are on each one. So sometimes it's not always I pick the title of the class. I'll pick who's on the panel if you're familiar with some of the people that you want to go learn from. The other one that I haven't really mentioned the last couple of years is usually the first day, you kind of get a good feel of the convention center and the size of rooms. If they have a bigger room booked for a breakout session, it's probably a good idea that they're projecting high demand. So even the size of the room that they're hosting these in, there's a lot of thought beforehand on that.
Yeah. One little,
it'll tell you the time and be a map of the location. So some of them, if it's a really small room, maybe they're projecting lower attendance, bigger room. Like if there's going to be Jay Papasan, Ben Kinney, or someone on the panel, usually it's going to be a bigger room because people want to go to those names. So pay attention to room size if you can too. Not on the online one. On the app, they usually always do. So the app isn't released yet. That'll be Wednesday, if not Thursday, if not Friday, but it will be available before we get there. That's when you can go customize your schedule, and there usually is a lot more detail on the breakout content and the panelists there. Yep.
Yeah. KW will usually send out an email, but we'll also send that in the WhatsApp chat. As soon as we see that it's released, we'll send a link to the app so you can download that and get it all set up. Yep. One little ninja tip on that as well. How many of you use Otter, OTTER AI for taking notes? One of you? Okay. That's one recommendation for those who are a little bit more tech savvy and want to use a tool. Otter.ai is an app you can download on your phone, and it will just record the whole session, and you basically just click a button to highlight, this is something I want to remember, and it will highlight that one session for you. And then coming out of it, it actually goes through the notes, and it says, these are the most important takeaways, and it actually puts it in a bullet point format and says, these are the things that you might want to remember, and then some potential action items. So a little bit higher way of taking notes. And when you take pictures, it will actually add that picture into the note where you took the picture at. So it's really cool to come out of that and have it all detailed to be able to go back to. Yes. Yep. We'll have Hunter strapped with a big backpack that if you need to plug into him, he'll have some extra energy. Yes.
Okay. First one, these are 11 essential tips. Boost your immune system. Take some emergency, carry some hand sanitizer. You're around a lot of people. Nobly decided the office is requiring your COVID booster to attend family reunion. Is that still a divisive topic? Just kidding. That's a joke, guys. Okay. Hand sanitizer for sure. Pump yourself full of vitamins. I think Keller Williams did single-handedly spread COVID when we came off that February 2020 family reunion, but okay.
Update your Facebook profile, all your social media. People are most likely going to look you up, especially if you're trying to create some referral partnerships. And so just make sure that it's presentable, that it's up to date. Having a fresh presence is important. So make sure you do that ahead of time. Clean up your feed as well on Facebook or Instagram, whatever you've used in the past. If you haven't done that in a long time, maybe start updating some stuff and cleaning up some stuff that you might not want to be.
Freshen up
visited.
MySpace. That's a friendly one.
Anybody do a high five? Is
Yeah,
that before
yeah,
MySpace?
yeah.
Go ahead.
You do evens, I'll do odds. Enter with a plan. We already talked about that. Set goals and identify key people to network with. You'll see a lot of people passing out cards. You know, I may not love that necessarily, but I always try to leave with just like 5 really good relationships that I like connected with over the course, you know.
One other thing I'd say on breakout sessions is kind of find a partner within this room and just trade notes. Say, well, if you're going to go to that breakout session, I'll go to this one. We'll swap notes afterwards. So with breakout sessions, you can kind of tag team it, divide and conquer.
Pretty much every community, you know, sports and entertainment, luxury, commercial, land, all those have some sort of networking event worldwide. So if you're interested in any of those little communities or niches or whatever, this is a great time to get introduced to them. The majority of the really cool ones do sell out by the time you get to family reunion. So if you are interested in those, just make sure you're looking at the agenda and buying any of those networking tickets far in advance. MAPS coaching on, what is it, Monday night, Cam? If you're a MAPS client, MAPS Mastery, they're doing their party on Monday night. So make sure you got a ticket for that if you're going to that. Yeah, copycats. We were first.
And this is for dress. You want to be comfortable. Okay, you're going to be sitting in different chairs for a long time throughout the day. So plan accordingly, but also be professional, right? So just make sure that you're going to be meeting new friends and potential business partners. So dress with that in mind.
It's usually decently
casual.
business casual. Like you'll see suits and then you'll see very like casual jeans. I would say 70%, the majority are going to be kind of just normal business casual throughout the day. I've worn jeans and like a t-shirt one day and I kind of just felt underdressed. So this is usually same thing I wear down there. High heels, mandatory for guys and gals. Just kidding. Really comfortable shoes. Again, you'll be walking 20,000 steps a day. Clear bag. I don't think we have any like crazy security protocol. Do you know for sure? Yeah. There's 2 theories of thoughts on this. Hi, Kimber. Welcome to KW Westfield. Guys, our regional technology director here. Yes, welcome. Kimber was essential in planning our awards gala on Tuesday night. So if it's awesome, it's her fault. If it's not, it's her fault. So there's usually two schools of thought. Some people like to just travel really light if you're staying at the place, so you can go up and down to your room. I always just make sure I'm stocked up. I leave my room in the morning and I don't come back till later in the night. So I make sure I have a charger, a battery pack, maybe some Advil if I get a headache. I have, snacks in my backpack. If I'm going to, end up jumping on my laptop, you might have your laptop. I always just try to pack a bag with the majority of my stuff on there, anything that you need throughout the day. Who's at Mandalay Bay? Who's staying at Mandalay Bay? Who's not at Mandalay Bay? Who's staying the farthest away? Where are you at? In Mesquite? No. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay. You guys probably want to pack a little heavier in the morning. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Again, snacks, empty water bottle. I always have my water bottle for sure. You might want some business cards just in case you want to pass contact information quickly.
Or just download your KW app. It's actually your digital business cards built in. Hunter will show that.
Some cash. There's always little like refreshment things. Every once in a while, one of them just doesn't take a card. So I always have a little bit of small bill cash for drink fountain. I mean, not drink fountains. Those things you put money in, they give you drinks. Vending machines. Vending machines. Yeah. The cards never work on those machines for me for some reason.
Yeah, and just again, take thorough notes, right? Document the stuff that you want to retain that you can refer back to, and then have something on your time blocked on your calendar to refer back to these notes, right? Maybe once a month, just come back to them and say, what do I want to implement? And then we'll talk about this as well as just organizing some roundtable discussions, some masterminds coming back from family reunion to be able to collaborate as an office and as a team to be able to share some of the top takeaways.
Yeah, we typically have a staff policy that we have made mandatory the last 10 years is when you go to family reunion, you got to have the mindset of taking notes and putting your thoughts down that you're going to have to come back and teach a class on what you learned. That always, just with that mentality, makes me want to kind of absorb the content a little bit better. So even if you're not going to teach anything, just, maybe have that thought in mind. Okay. What else?
Awesome. That's it. Any questions?
All right, veterans, give us your best tips that we missed. Who's been more than 5 times to family reunion? Raise your hand. Ooh, 10 times. More than 10 times. Dean, Novalee, Clay, Kimber, maybe. 9. Clay, we're on our 15th family reunion. Do you know that? Crazy. We're so old now. All right, give me some tips from our veterans that have been a couple times. Anything else we miss? Yes. Yep. I always pack a little jacket, roll it up, put it in my backpack. Yep. 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 Especially if you're flying, I always leave a little bit extra room in your luggage just because you'll come back with stuff. They have booths. The vendor hall is usually awesome. And they have an extra bit of energy to kind of beef our vendor hall up again. So I always leave with books or manuals or, things from the vendor hall. So just make sure you have a little bit more room in your packing, whatever. Otherwise, you can send it home with whoever's driving. Cameron and then Cody. Yeah. Yeah. Was Clay on the first panel? And Cody? Boobs? Cody, you're a bishop. Booze. Oh, yeah. There's plenty of booze down there if that's interesting to you. I think it's Las Vegas. You can get whatever you want in Vegas. Which brings me to my next point. What happens in Vegas always comes home from Vegas, okay? Sadly, we've had scenarios that came back from these family reunion events that we've had to deal with as staff. So I would just recommend and challenge you, if you want to go crazy in Vegas, do it at another trip to Vegas and leave this as professional as possible. So the sign-up sheet for the hour of babysitting throughout the event of Clay is passing around if everybody will sign up for a shift. No?
We did
Right.
have 2 people get arrested in Dallas last year, and nobody had to go fly out and bail them out. So
Was that? Oh, it was all fake, wasn't it?
Yes. What about the game night? When is that happening?
Monday night, game night.
yeah, and we'll send details in the WhatsApp group.
We did prank Novalee at one of the family reunions, and we had someone text her that Clay and I got arrested and we need to be bailed out. And she panicked for like 15
I
minutes.
believed it.
Okay, who else? Angie and then Clay. Yeah. Yeah, and the
Sleep
swag
on it.
kind of sells out. So if you want to go get some cool swag, they just bring a ton of stuff. But like Monday's probably the day you want to go grab some if you want some. Clay. Who's leaving Wednesday? Who's leaving Wednesday? Who's leaving? Does anybody leave Tuesday? I know. I think they're scared to raise their hand if they're leaving Wednesday. I would say we do it either Tuesday or Wednesday later.
The region in Glen.
Yeah, I think after a general session works good too, but that's why joining that WhatsApp will be vital just so we can communicate to everybody. We always do one cool big office photo with all 100 of our people that go down. So pay attention to that. Yeah, maybe let's tentatively plan on after the vision speech Tuesday at like, 11:30 or something. Right. I don't know if people are all going to be on time as a challenge, but we could. Yeah. Cool. Any final tips? Any final tips?
Country?
Okay.
Hey, just real quick. So, wanted to talk about getting contact information of other agents, getting referral partners while you're down there. So obviously you can just swap contacts, just how you normally do. You can also utilize the command app. So I'm going to demo that real quick. So in the mobile app, in this contacts applet right here, there's a few things you can do. One, you can click on your name at the top and you can do my business card right here. And then I'll show you how you can scan directly within here. So you have a QR code there. You can also share, so I'm going to do that. Just share that there. Business card, and you can share it directly. And then you can also, if you click on the 3 dots at the top, you can then add with a QR code and you can scan. Obviously you'd scan the QR code, right? Does that make sense? So then you can get, yeah, for sure. So if I wanted to give my QR code to someone, I would just click on my profile at the very top, click on in the KW
On the app.
in the mobile app. Yeah. So make sure you have the mobile app downloaded. Click on your profile at the very top, and then there's a business card. Okay. So you can have people scan this directly, or you can also just share it with them. Okay. So one of you would pull up your QR code, and then the other would click on the 3 dots at the top of the contacts applet and press add with a QR code. And then you could scan that person's QR code, okay?
And their contact info will go right into your command.
Right into your command. And then you can tag them accordingly. That way, when you get back, you can quickly sort all of the people that you met at family reunion. You can tag where they're from, what their production level is, and then just have a little bit easier of a time getting value from the event. So, for sure. No worries. So, you would.
Commercial break.
I intentionally put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Okay, so click on your name. You have your business card. Yeah? Everyone on board there? Feel free to scan it if you need. Add me to your command. And then press this, and then press add with QR code. And I'm happy to connect. I have office hours today from 3 to 4. Please come connect. If you have anything that you want to tackle before we go, you're welcome to do so.
Awesome. Great. Well, we're going to roll in 60 seconds. We're going to kick off team meeting. So you need to go to the restroom, run, but we're going to go right into some high value.